Today I'm going to show you how to look effortlessly expensive. My name is Kimmy Jane, and on this channel we talk about all things outfit, styling, fashion and lifestyle. Let's get straight into today's video. Have you ever noticed how some women just exude elegance? They could be wearing the simplest outfit, yet they still look effortlessly expensive and put together. It's not about designer labels or how much money you spend. It's about understanding timeless style and small details that make a huge difference. Today, I'm sharing all the old money fashion secrets that are going to help you look elevated and appear effortlessly expensive. These tips will work whether you're on a budget, just starting to refine your aesthetic, or you want to take your style to the next level. So grab a cup of tea and let's get into it. The first secret to looking expensive is choosing fabrics that are high quality and getting the perfect fit. A well-fitting outfit in a quality material will always look more luxurious than an ill-fitting designer piece. High quality fabrics equal instant luxury. If you want to look expensive and look old money, stick to high quality fabrics like cotton, linen, silk, wool, and if you can afford it, cashmere. I would suggest avoiding materials, if you can, like acrylic, polyester and polyamide, as these do not look as expensive and tend to not really stand the test of time. Another way to see if a fabric looks expensive is when you're in the store, just hold it up to the light and see how shiny it is. Fabrics that look a bit cheap are quite shiny, whereas fabrics that don't have much shine tend to look more elevated. Another way to look expensive is by choosing those old money fabrics and textures like a tweed or a cable knit. These instantly elevate your look, and they really do have that sort of British charm that we would expect to see on the likes of Lydia Millen. Now, tailoring can really be the make or break factor when you're trying to look expensive. You can have a cheap pair of trousers from H&M, but if they fit you perfectly, they will look $1 million. I would highly suggest, if you're trying to look expensive, you don't have to go out and buy an extremely expensive wardrobe, but try to find pieces that actually fit you exceptionally well, or if it's really hard to find something that has the right sleeve lengths or the right trouser lengths, then if you can, I would try and get them tailored, because when your clothes fit you perfectly around your wrists and your ankles and are the right height and length for you, you look extremely expensive. Because people who, I guess, are wealthy, they have the time and money to have all of their clothes tailored and fit them like a glove. You won't only look great, you also feel great wearing clothes that are made for you. I often find that when I order trousers online, they will fit really well around my waist, but they are almost always too long, which is kind of frustrating, as it is, you know, a bit time consuming taking your items to a tailor and then having to pick them up and do all that sort of thing, but it is worth it. I find that if I don't bother tailoring my trousers, I just don't even bother wearing them, because otherwise you end up like stepping on the backs of them and they just get dirty and you just absolutely ruin them. Now, the next way you can look effortlessly expensive is by opting for an elegant color palette with your wardrobe. If you look at a woman who always looks put together, you'll notice that they don't often wear bright colors like neons or overly crazy prints. Instead, they often opt for a neutral and timeless palette. So the most expensive looking colors are classic neutrals like white, beige, camel, navy, black, and charcoal gray. But don't fear, these aren't the only colors that look expensive if you are a fan of color. Rest assured that understated luxury tones include colors like olive green, a muted burgundy, soft powder blue, and chocolate brown. These tend to be the more elevated colors that one can have in their wardrobe. And that's not to say that you can't wear other colors, but if you're trying to go after a certain aesthetic, then these are going to instantly help you achieve that. Another way you can use color to look effortlessly expensive is by opting for a monochrome look. I think I've mentioned this in many of my YouTube videos, But a monochrome look is an instant way to look put together and very refined. You can really choose any color, I think, in a monochrome look, but some of my favorites would probably be like champagne, gold, black, browns, navy, and I actually also love an emerald green look as well, especially on the Princess of Wales, as I mentioned in my previous YouTube video. And if you're unsure if a color looks expensive, perhaps think to yourself, would the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, be seen wearing this colour? I don't think I can think of any time I've ever seen the Princess of Wales wearing like a neon orange or sort of like a crazy electric blue colour. I mean, perhaps she has worn those colours to the races and that sort of thing, but if you're thinking about official appearances, think, would the royals wear this colour, yes or no? The next way you can look effortlessly expensive is by leaning into the art of accessories. Accessories are where you can really start to elevate your outfits. But here's the trick, less is more. Instead of piling on multiple trendy pieces, instead focus on timeless classics and elegant accessories that subtly enhance your outfit. Here are some jewelry secrets to look expensive. Number one is opt for things like gold, pearls, and diamonds. Whether they are real or faux, they always look luxurious. Dainty layered gold necklaces and simple stud earrings also elevate an outfit instantly and come in a multitude of price points. And something to avoid is that really overly chunky plastic or fast fashion jewelry, as this can look a little bit cheap. Now, we couldn't talk about accessories without touching on handbags, but rest assured, you don't need to go and race out and buy some sort of expensive Gucci bag. In fact, you need to do the exact opposite. If you're trying to look effortlessly expensive, then the sort of handbag that can really help you accessorize your outfit is actually just a structured top-handled bag or sort of minimalistic tote bag that just exudes sophistication. So actually steering clear of loud logos and instead focusing on sort of the structure and design and the material and sort of quality of your handbag. I would also avoid overly trendy bags with excessive logos, uber loud hardware, or over-the-top embellishments. And I'd also stick with neutral tones like tan, black, or cream, because these are going to pair well with everything in your wardrobe and it's going to help you get lots of use out of it. And the last accessory I'd like to touch on is your choice of footwear. Shoes are a really important accessory and can really elevate an outfit, depending on the shoe that you opt for. Some shoes that look really elegant and chic include a classic ballet flat, pointed toe heels, loafers, or leather boots. These always look really refined and polished. I would avoid things like chunky sneakers, scuffed shoes, or cheap looking sandals, and also be careful of shoelaces if you do like to wear like white sneakers, which are a great wardrobe staple, and just make sure that you just chuck your laces in the wash every now and again to keep them nice and crisp and white, or just buy new ones and replace them often. You could honestly be wearing a white t-shirt and jeans, but accessories like some beautiful loafers, a structured handbag, and a leather belt will instantly upgrade your look and help you look effortlessly expensive. The next area we're going to touch on is your grooming and presentation. You can have on the most expensive designer dress, but if you have chipped nail polish, raccoon eye makeup, and really scraggly hair, it's not going to look expensive whatsoever. So the first area we're going to touch on is hair. Now, I know hair can be a struggle for some people because it can be really time consuming styling our hair, and we can't all be blessed with having, perfect ringlets or like dead straight hair. Like for me, my hair is in between sort of having wavy hair and straight hair, so it tends to look quite frizzy and I genuinely have to style it every time I wash my hair. Now, some tips for looking elegant and refined when it comes to hair is just keeping your hair really clean and frizz free. So sometimes using some sort of serum or even hairspray can help just tame those flyaways. If wearing your hair out isn't really an option, then a sleek ponytail or a nice bun always looks elegant and refined. It doesn't have to be very complicated. Honestly, these hairstyles, I think, we can all sort of manage. And if you have really, really short hair, then I would just keep it, freshly washed, give it a bit of a blow dry, and just use some serums to keep it frizz free. So obviously we need to touch on makeup. Now, everyone has a different opinion on what makeup looks refined and elegant, but to keep it simple, if you want to look effortlessly elegant, Keep it minimal, fresh, and polished. Soft glam, so maybe just a base layer like some foundation or some sort of BB cream with a bit of bronzer, a bit of blush, brush out your eyebrows, some mascara, and some lip tint and lip gloss. You don't need to go overboard with makeup. Now, I do tend to put a bit more on for YouTube videos because of the lights that I use, but day to day, I do my makeup in under 5 minutes. I usually just use like a sort of primer. It's one from Rimmel, I believe. I'll share it on the screen. It's fantastic. And I usually go for a more lightweight sort of makeup look. So just a bit of this primer stuff, bronzer, blush. I put a tiny bit of eyeshadow on my eyelids, more just to stop my sunscreen sliding over the day into my eyes and stinging. And mascara, I put something through my eyebrows, and then I'm done. So I think just really basic, clean looking makeup will make you look effortlessly refined and just give you that sort of brightness in your face as you go off to work for the day. Something to avoid with makeup is probably just using too much eyeliner and overly bright eyeshadow colors. Makeup's really the main area you can go wrong, using just too much or really bright colors, so probably avoid that, and not going too overboard with the contouring or the blush, and yeah, just opting for something that looks natural but enhanced. And last but not least is nails and perfume. So if you aren't someone who likes to go and get your nails done on the regular, if you're like me, I prefer to do my nails myself, and something that looks elegant and effortless is really just clear nail polish, or like a pale pink or nudie color or a bright red. These are the most classic nail polish colors that you can really opt for, and try to avoid having chipped nail polish. I know it can be such a pain, and sometimes if you let it slip, you let it slip. But if you are trying to look super rich and expensive, then I guess chipped nail polish is a no-no. So if that tends to happen, probably opt for those more nude colors because you can get away with a bit more, or get your nails done, because that will last much longer than nail polish. And in terms of a perfume, probably steer clear from those really overpowering scents that remind you of your clubbing days, and stick to something that's a bit more refined. And think of colors. Think of scents like musk, vanillas, and sort of like light florally scents. But perfumes are so unique to us and so personal. So I think just pick something that you really love, but maybe isn't too overpowering, when you walk into a room where you go to work or something like that. And last but not least, to look effortlessly chic is to adopt the old money mindset, because confidence is what truly radiates, and it comes from within. Because true elegance isn't just about what we wear, it's about how we carry ourselves. And some really basic ways to improve the way that we carry ourselves is by having good posture and just being mindful of, walking slowly, not rushing around like a headless chook. And when we're walking into a room or into a building, instead of looking down on a phone and scrolling with hunched shoulders, shoulders back, head up high, like we own the place, and, walking at a normal pace. You don't need to gallop, you don't need to walk overly slowly, like, we're floating like some sort of, roll. Just walking at a normal pace. But yes, head up, shoulders back, and think elegant thoughts as we walk around. And another key area to work on is probably table manners, but that could be a video in itself, because there's so much to cover with table manners. And if you are interested in learning etiquette or table manners and things like that, I'd be more than happy to do some more research and do like a whole video on that area. But just some basic things, when you go out dining, some things to keep in mind is always put your serviette on your lap, pour water for others before you pour your own water glass, and just chew with your mouth shut. Those are top 3 tips for this little segment. But yes, if you are interested in etiquette or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. And there you have it. That is how you can look effortlessly expensive. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know which tip you found most interesting in the comment section below. And there you have it. That is how you can look effortlessly expensive every single day. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments section. I'd love to know which tip was your favorite. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button as it really helps me out, and I hope to see you all next time.